Thank you for joining us. You were just listening to internationally known singer-songwriter and good friend Jessie Terry's Kaleidoscope. On behalf of the K-Team, as one of our writers lovingly refers to us, welcome to Kaleidoscope WoJo's virtual book launch and book signing. We're so glad to be here. Kaleidoscope WoJo, Reflections on Women's Journeys, announces the first in a series of anthologies, In My Shoes. Today, we're going to flip through the pages of our story, introduce you to our writers, and tell you what's coming up next for Kaleidoscope WoJo. With so many writers, and for the sake of time, much of today's launch has been recorded. This book is dedicated to our moms, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, daughters, granddaughters, nieces, cousins, and dear friends. While we may not universally share the same beliefs on all manners of subjects, we do share the commonality of recognizing our unique journeys as women. We would like to thank the following individuals for their support, encouragement, and review of the story: Sally Sutton, Dave and Faith Stevens, Jim Beam, Ryan Chester, and the original writers of our prototype Familiar Voices. You can read the bios of our co-founders, Deb, Tom, and Marianne, while you hear a bit more about us. 3 people started off to write a business book, relying on decades of experience in corporate positions and as consultants. Instead, we ended up going down another path. Kaleidoscope WoJo, In My Shoes, is the culmination of 3 years of effort at creating a platform to reach women writers and to collect personal memoirs on a variety of topics. Every life is about overcoming obstacles and challenges that crop up unannounced and unexpected. No one escapes life unscathed. Our responses to these events shape the people we become. We have gathered the best of those stories submitted to us that reflect the challenges that life presents and the power of transcendence. In addition to our book, In My Shoes, we also offer webinars, workshops, and retreats to foster the art of storytelling for individuals, work teams, and organizations. Our lives are reflected in the stories we choose to tell, as well as the stories that teams and organizations tell reflect the culture embedded in them. Come, explore the power of women's voices and be inspired. As mentioned in our foreword, our book, In My Shoes, includes a very diverse group of women writers in background, location, education, and writing styles. Today, you'll get an introduction to the writers, and you'll find more of their details on our website. You'll be able to put a face to the name, get to know them by reading their bios, get a glimpse of their story through their excerpt, and hear what they have to say about participating in this project.
And now Kaleidoscope WoJo, a reflection on women's journeys, announces In My Shoes writer Dr. Mary Marken Trickel and her story, Spirit of 76 Years Young. Dr. Mary Marken Trickel tells us getting to the autumn of one's life has provided her a wealth of experience, both personally and professionally, to write on a myriad of topics. From childhood to her treasured roles of wife, mother, grandmother, friend, and with careers in both corporate and academia, writing has always provided a sense of meaningful personal accomplishment. She was truly humbled to be a contributor to Kaleidoscope, a reflection on women's journeys, premier anthology. And now let's hear an excerpt from Mary's essay, The Spirit of 76 Years Young. The principle of lifelong learning had been instilled in me by my dad, who had put himself through college during the Depression. My renewed zest for formal learning had been captured through 2 simple non-credit online courses. Perhaps an example would provide the best incentive of fostering college aspirations for our grandparents. 30 years had elapsed since I had attended a college course, but just maybe.
And now let's hear from Mary. Mary, tell the gang a little bit about yourself.
First of all, of course, family, and family and faith have been so predominant in my life. And I do come out of both corporate and academia, having been in the corporate world for 19 years and then been fortunate to wind up rather unexpectedly, although a career goal in academia. Not as a teacher at that point, but as in the administration of the largest community college in New Jersey. And it was from there that I officially retired. And folks tell me that I'm an eternal optimist. I think much of that is due to strong faith. And I really believe that even when challenged with something that may be, a life event challenge, I do seek to find positive coming out of all of that. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I'm grateful that I've been able to, over the years, both in corporate and academic world, be a mentor to many, whether they were in career change or whether they were considering school or whatever it might have been. So I really do feel that that is was intended for me to do, and to enable people to feel better about themselves and go on and accomplish something perhaps they thought they couldn't do, is more satisfaction than any dollars could pay.
So tell us a little about the inspiration. I guess you touched on it, but what was the inspiration for your story?
I've always enjoyed writing. At times I have found it to be very therapeutic. My parents were both good writers, and my mother more so in poetry, her interest. And I have enjoyed doing short stories and poetry. I have found at this point in my life, I've seen many friends as they're getting older. They feel themselves becoming less youthful, or they believe that. They may have themselves with some physical limitations, and I like to think that keeping up with writing or whatever someone's interest is, whether it be a hobby or whether it be crossword puzzles or any of those interests, are so important to helping keep the mind sharp and being able to feel good about oneself. And so that very much is the inspiration for my story. On a light note, and our daughter Deborah was a witness to this. Upon graduation from the doctoral program, unbeknownst to me, they were doing an article, I guess being the Grandma Moses of the class, so to speak, although they were nice enough and didn't say that. The writer talked about this rocking grandma. And by the time he finished the interview and the article as it came out, it was "Keep Rocking, Dr. Trickel." So that's what I've tried to do. And so that was the inspiration. Perhaps others. I'm not saying that somebody wants to undertake a doctoral program at 72. In fact, I think if I had known how challenging it was, I probably wouldn't have undertaken it, but on hindsight, I'm very glad I did. And again, the inspiration for mentoring came through with classmates and even after leaving, and it was after a year of mentoring, having graduated and after a year of mentoring, the university surprised me even more when they invited me to join the doctoral adjunct faculty, all online, of course. So I keep on saying to myself, who else would have hired me at 76? And thus, the spirit of 76 is a story.
Excellent. So what was it like being on this project?
It has been so joyful. Initially, because of knowing Mary Ann, I inadvertently thought that this was uh, would involve writers of the local area. I had no idea that it was as expansive as it was, and so um, later realizing that and to be a part of this project was just so humbling, and I'm very grateful, as I am for all of you, to share this launch.
So is there anything else that we would like to share with the group?
Well, everyone has a story. Every life has a story. Back in 2002, my dad, for the last 6 weeks of his life, was in a hospice facility. And in going to visit him, um, I was taken by something and I just started to look around. There were 8 private rooms there. And on the door of every room was the person's biography. And that said to me, everyone has a story. I stood there reading every one of them, knowing that each of these individuals, in their own way, had led a full life. And even as their life was ending, they were inspiring someone who they didn't even know. And so that is what I would take as far as trying to be a positive presence for others, whether it's in my writing or, and I encourage others. I mentioned my dad. In 1992, he became a great grandfather for the first time. And in fact, very shortly thereafter, became a grandfather for the second time, thanks to both our daughters. And I asked him, as part of therapy, because he'd had brain injury, to write a few notes about his upbringing, because we were so close to my mother's family, which was large, and my dad's was small, and they had been from the South. And I thought it would be nice to, I thought it would be therapy for him and maybe 15 pages for me to type up. And close to 200 pages later, with the detail of every room in the home that he grew up in, his reminiscence and his reflections were a gift to this family. He was a history buff, so he also wrote not just about us, he wrote about what was going on in the world. And I thought, even those great-grandchildren who would never get to know him would know him because of what he wrote. And I encourage everybody to do that. Everybody, because everybody has a story. Thanks, Marian.
Excellent advice. So what's next for you, Mary? We're signing up for, I assume, some new program, some new doctoral.
No. I will be glad to recommend it for anybody who might think about doing it, or taking an art course, or just, trying to stay positive. Obviously, this year has been an example of being a challenge to everyone. The concern for those in isolation. I spoke to a neighbor today in Florida, and she has not been out of her home but once since March 4th. And that was to go to a doctor appointment because she's older and she has health challenges. So I just encourage everyone, whatever your positive spirit, however that can move you, try and allow yourself to do it. It may not be consequential, it may to others, but to you it is. And so I encourage you, because I think that can be so meaningful in power of positive thinking, as they say.
Excellent advice. So now it's time to, are you guys getting feedback from me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sounds horrible. Sorry about that. When everybody else starts talking, I'll change my audio settings. So now we're going to do a shout out to Mary, and we can say congratulations, we can say whatever we'd like. The first thing I'd like to do on behalf of the K team or Kaleidoscope is I would like to thank you for being part of our prototype anthology that we did, Familiar Voices, as well as being part of this anthology, In My Shoes. So thank you, Mary, for joining us on that journey. We really appreciate it. And now, let her rip. Open the mics and let's hear what you have to say. Come on, Linda.
All right, I won't be shy. Mary, I'm Kelly Lopez. I'm in the book too, and you're so right about the importance of writing your story. I have written a book drawing on reams of papers left to me by my parents, and they're not here anymore, but they've given me a way of looking back 60 years to things that I would not have been able to even have a clue how to write. And because they wrote them down, I knew how they felt, I knew who they were, and it has been a gift to live with them again. So yes, absolutely, writing our stories, no matter how inconsequential, none of it is inconsequential, and it will all disappear if you don't write it down. So thank you for that statement, and congratulations. Loved what you did and what you are about.
Thank you.
Thank you. And who else would like to speak?
Well, this is her daughter. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, obviously you can all tell I'm very fortunate to have Dr. Mary as my mom. It's funny because as she was finishing up her doctorate program and kind of venturing into her new career as a professor, I was retiring. So we were in a bit of a role reversal in that I was the one that was kind of sitting back. So the other joke I'll just mention is I've always said I want to be just like her when I grow up. I can't be more than thrilled for her to be able to share her story with you guys and through the book, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this, and thanks for having me here.
Excellent.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
I didn't even pay her to say that.
I worked with Mary for many years and loved every minute of it. Just being here and seeing her again just is a delight. It's wonderful. And I remember she used to write lovely poems for us, you know, during different holidays, and she made our business office just a wonderful place. It made it like a home. Everybody was family when Mary was there. She was always there for me if I needed her. Her door was always open. I was very blessed to have worked with her for those years and to have grown up under Mary's, tutelage. She was a terrific mentor. And again, it's a delight to just be in her presence. I think whenever you visited, even it was Mary's here, not many people left there anymore, Mary. It's a whole new, area, but a few of us still remember you. So congratulations, and you never cease to amaze me.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Pat.
How about Kathy? I see your mic is unmuted.
Yes, I was waiting for her daughter to finish. Mary and I know each other through Mercy Associates. And as Pat was saying, Mary just walks in the room and lights it up. So Mary, your presence is now, in addition to your writings, is now in a book. Maybe it's not your first book either. And I hope it's not your last. But I just want to thank you for having me here tonight to hear all this and to be aware of it, because I wouldn't have known. And congratulate you and just say you're just ooze with the love of mercy. From Florida, I can feel it in New Jersey. So thank you for being you, Mary.
Thank you, Kathy.
Excellent. We have a few others that haven't spoken. Dr. Nancy, do you want to say something?
Sure. Oh, Mary, first of all, it's great to see you. And also you, Marianne, and Lisa. I haven't seen you guys in a while, and Deborah. So it's great to reconnect. And I just wanted to say how fabulous you look, Mary, to go through all this schooling and at 72 and graduate at 77. It doesn't look like it aged you one bit. So that's awesome. And I've known you probably for 20 years now, and we don't connect enough, but it feels like it was just yesterday. And we work together, and I think that you're one of the most intelligent, compassionate, faithful women that I've ever met in my life. And you're just easy to be around. You're one of those people that you don't dread, oh, they called, or I have to return their call, or just feel like you're a burden, or there's something that you have to do. You're just what I call easy and smart and just energetic. And I just thank you for being in my life. And I feel so grateful to have crossed our paths and to get to know you and a little bit of your family. And thank you for all that you give to make this world a better place. I love the optimism. It's the best way to live, in gratitude. And I think it really carries your life. And for all the tragedies you've gone through, you would never know it because you have that joy of the Holy Spirit in your heart. And it just portrays to everyone. So thank you again, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Lisa, how about you?
Thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Mary. I probably have known Mary the shortest amount of time listening to all your stories. Even though it was short, it is very special. I sat on the board with Mary at Catholic Social Services when she came over from the Shepherd's Maternity House. And you talk about being humbled and honored to be around her, and feeling the calmness and peacefulness that she portrays is a trait that I hope to continue. Nancy, she may be easy, but I don't think she's cheap. Especially now that she has her doctorate degree. and hearing some of Mary's stories of what she's gone through and what she has endured, I would not want to walk in her shoes. So thank you for knowing whose shoes I want to walk in and how I want to walk. I might not want to walk in your shoes, but I certainly wouldn't mind walking the way you've walked and carried yourself through your life. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. Loretta?
So I didn't meet Mary until we started a doctorate program together, and we never thought of her as grandma. She would tell us that, but we never thought of her as grandma. She was more like the residential hall mom. So she always was encouraging and keeping us moving and going forward. And clearly a doctorate program is a very, very tough program. And we met online, so it seems appropriate that here we are again once more online. Mary's been doing the online program teaching and learning process for a little while now, so she's got it down. It's been wonderful to see you grow, to see you when you graduated, and I'm just so happy for you in the book, and just kudos to you and much love. So.
There's one more person, and I think it's Joanne, but I can't see the name. I saw it when it popped up. Is that you, Joanne?
It's me. I see me. I don't know why you can't see me.
So I wasn't sure if you wanted to say something.
Well, I really, I had seen that you were going to be doing this tonight, and of course I didn't get home in time for the 7 o'clock part of it. So I really don't have anything to say except that I know just being part of the whole book thing was just thrilling for me again. And I guess it certainly does sound like all the tributes that Mary's been getting have been well earned, and I would certainly echo them, even though I don't really have anything. I don't know Mary, but it sounds like a lot of people really did.
Well, thank you for joining us. Joanne was one of the other writers of the book, as well as Jane Kelly, who was here earlier and then she had to leave. So they were two other writers of stories that are in the book.
I just would like to say that there are so many wonderful stories in those 42 writings. And it enlightens your day. And the nice thing too, as I say, is with the book, you can pick it up, you can read 5-6 pages of someone's story and put it down and then pick up another. It's not like a James Michener, novel that, you just don't want to lose yourself in, maybe, or can't. And so the fact that these women have all reached out, I got to meet a few of them personally, certainly not all of them, but I am so proud to stand with them. And I thank Marianne and Deb and Tom for that opportunity. And I thank all of you for joining us.
I had said to Marianne when the first book came out, I said, the big thing I would love to do is I would just love to meet everybody, because it just seemed like they're just such really, really neat women.
So we're going to kind of close it up. So as Mary's mentioned several times, along with her story are stories of 41 other personal essays that are included in My Shoes. And here's just a couple of the reviews that we have received so far. In My Shoes is a rich collection of short stories that wears its heart on its sleeve. It's easy to read at a quick pace, and readers will relate to specific narratives depending on their life's experiences. There's something for everyone here. My next book club pick. You will be inspired by these stories and the sheer grit of the women. And lastly, I enjoy reading In My Shoes. It was a remarkable anthology of very personal, poignant, and in some cases quite universal experiences. The overarching message I take from the assortment of events is that we should never feel alone with concerns or confusion over life's events. Take heart that this compilation of adventures, ordeals, and incidences will guide and heal as well as quite often amuse. So for those of you that are not following us, if you would like to go to our website and sign up for notifications, you don't have to be a writer. There's lots of writing opportunities on our website, lots of ways for writers to be featured. We have contests, we have various other submissions. And then if you like reading, there's a lot of things that are published. We have a blog that's published weekly. You can have your cup of tea or cup of coffee on a Saturday morning. We publish a story every Saturday morning. We highlight our writers on Sunday. So there's a lot of good things that you can see if you want to sign up for notifications on our website and follow us, or share it with your friends. We'd like to thank a couple people. We'd like to thank all of the writers that have submitted their stories to us and trusting us with their stories. Many people are really put themselves out there when they do those submissions. We want to, of course, thank Dr. Mary Trickel. And we want to thank Ryan Chester, who's the graphic designer for the book cover and all of the Kaleidoscope logos and icon designs and design in support of our website. And now we will have Mary officially sign her book. So on behalf of Kaleidoscope, we'd like to thank everybody for attending. We'd like to thank Mary again and appreciate it. If you want to get your copy of In My Shoes, you can go to our website at www.kaleidoscopewojo.com and click on Buy Our Book. Thank you, everybody, and have a great evening and stay safe and healthy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Best of health and wealth to you, Mary, and everyone.
Thanks. Good seeing everybody.
Everyone. It's nice seeing all faces.
Good night,
Okay.
everyone.